Hi. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the stream, weekly stream that I do at 5 p.m. UK time every Thursday. So I'll introduce the subject, the topic, and then the chat is open for questions. I wanted to put a title on the video. But I have no title, so so I couldn't. So, non-duality. An undervalued subject, I feel. The best subject. And yet, I don't think it will be valued for what it's expressing. Yeah. Yeah. What a beautiful subject. Not to sound special or anything, but I think only a niche or a minority of people are gonna resonate with this, are going to be open enough to yeah, realize this. Not to try and create a hierarchy or anything like that, or this is better than anything else. It's just, yeah, it's just, yeah, what a niche and particular subject that is in a different plane to most of society and humanity. It's just, I'm not surprised that people, not all, but a lot of people tend to have some kind of breakdown or something that leads them to get into this subject. It's so out there. It's so out there. Okay, so non-duality. Yeah. I was having lunch with someone this afternoon, and it was nice to spend time with them. But you can't talk about this. You can't talk about this with most people. So let's talk about this. Oh, a bit emotional. I feel tears coming now. So so I can't really talk about this. I can't really talk about it. I can't talk about it because it because it doesn't have language. It doesn't have language. Let's get some more tissue out. I remember listening to speakers, non-dual speakers, and knew what they was talking about. Like they were pointing directly to what we are. It was just so direct. It was so naked and exposing and vulnerable. And even reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle was, for me, very direct, very, what was being spoken about was very much here, not in time, not in the story of who I am and where I'm from and where I'm going and what's wrong and all these kinds of stories we have in the head. It was very direct, very much available, very much right now, this freedom, this love, this beingness. And when you're on the path, the spiritual path, and when you're looking for something and you're on this future projection forward in time, it can be, and you're desperately looking, desperately wanting to go home, and then you have someone there pointing directly to home. It's just unbelievable. 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 I just fell in love with this. I fell in love with non-duality. I fell in love with what was being spoken of and pointed to, which was this. Awakening isn't easy. Like, it isn't easy. The identification to the story of you, the identification to time is sticky. It's a habit, an addiction, a conditioned way of being. But if there's been a hearing of this and an opening to this and a love of this, then it's just a matter of time. A matter of time. Like the saying is, the head's in the tiger's mouth. Once there's been this, I don't know what you call it, touching, it touches your heart or something. If that's your number one thing, is to awaken, if your number one thing is freedom, then your head's in the tiger's mouth. Once you've heard this, it is over. It's over. There's no way to unhear this. There's no way to go back into the old way of being, the old way of living. Yes, stories come up, stories come back, and there's lots of things to unravel and see through, maybe is the right way of saying it. But yeah, there's no going back. It's the end of you. So what is non-duality? Okay. Back to So non-duality is, I would say, awaking out of a dream, awaking out of a dream, awaking out of a dream of a person, a person, awaking out of a dream of you, a dream of you being someone separate. Waking up beyond that dream, that seemingly personal dream of someone. and that the person or the mind hears that and takes hold of that idea and tries to become that, tries to deal with that, tries to interpret that, tries to work with that idea. And that's what happens. It's natural, but the mind tries to handle that and work towards that. And wants to move towards that. It likes the idea of it. But the thing is, this is actually waking up out of that. It's a waking up out of that even. And that's why it is so radical and so different to most other topics, subjects. It's so different. It's so different. Because most subjects are about you waking up, about you achieving something, about you reaching somewhere, about who you are, about time. And so this is radically different in that it's not talking about this dream someone. It's not entertaining that experience, that dream, that reality, that story, that illusion of someone. It's totally talking about the end of that and the simplicity of this life happening, this happening, and this dream of it happening to someone or someone being alive in this, having an experience, is a dream, is a fabrication that's happening. And there's nothing actually wrong with that. It's just not true. But while that's happening, it feels as if that's a truth and that's reality. And this is what non-duality or waking up or liberation is. It's the total clarity or seeing through that experience, that dream of separation, of this personal story of someone. And it's huge. It's the end of you. Not the end of stories or thoughts or emotions, but the end of you. This permanent you who's like moving through time, who exists in time. And so life is life. And so this is this. Totally as it is, totally the way it is. Full of life, full of what is. And this is freedom. This is freedom because the prison of being a person isn't imprisoning anymore, and so it's free. This becomes free. I mean, it always has been free, but when that dream's been playing of imprisonment of a person, which is imprisonment, a sense of being limited to something, being someone, when that's playing, then it is a prison. When that's believed to be true, when that's experienced to be a reality and true, then it's a prison. And so what's being spoken about is the end of that, this dropping, this movement out of that, where there is this, there is life happening, there is fullness happening, without it being contained and limited. So it's not really an exciting thing. In the world of thought, in the world of future, there can be excitement, there can be lots of exciting dreams and hopes. And so this can be a bit, at one stage, at some point, it can be a bit maybe depressing, maybe a bit, yeah, maybe. Or unfulfilling or something. There is a stage where it feels like that. But that should pass. Because the true happiness, isn't in future, isn't in experience, isn't in thought, in time. And so that happiness maybe is more fulfilling than the temporary bursts of pleasure. So yeah, this isn't going to be a popular subject. Not really. But it is as it is. It's a beautiful subject. Yeah, so feel free to ask any questions about that in the chat box. Hi Dee. Hi Kelly. Harsha. Hi Harsha. Did you come to a point of utter boredom? I stopped working, stopped gathering with friends. Utter boredom. There definitely were periods of boredom. But there's nothing to latch onto. Like the mind wants to latch on to something. Keep busy, busy, busy. Yeah, definitely. But it's only related to time, really. This idea of there being time can increase that sense of boredom, can make that even more suffering. This idea of time. But there is no time. And so dropping out of that, out of the mind and the agitation of time, then there is this, and this is totally fulfilled as it is. This is as it is. There is no boredom, there is just what is. But it's probably a natural thing that happens, being so used to time, using time, being in time. Thank you, Harsha. David, hi Kelly. I saw through the illusion of separation in 2015, but all shit has hit the fan from 2018. I know there is no advice, but always enjoy your delivery of this. This message. No question. What a juicy question, then. Love you. Oh, love you. Yeah, love you. Much love here as well. Yeah. Can you say something about fear around social situations? I have a fear around not fitting in, not being able to connect with people, and also a fear of humiliation. Fear around social situations. Um, I have fear around not fitting in, not being able to connect with people. It's funny because I can relate to the things you've written there, but I can relate to that, having fear around social situations, not fitting in, humiliation. Maybe, yeah, I can relate to all that. Obviously, I don't know how that is in your experience. Can't say it's the same, but those words do feel familiar in terms of my experience around people growing up and things. Um, I'm not sure what you want me to say about it. Like, I'm assuming you want to not have fear around those things. You want to fit in. You want to not have fear around social situations. You want to be able to connect with people and not have a fear of humiliation. Um, Sorry, I just it's so funny. Like I can relate to the words of that, but I just don't. Like I don't have any friends. I would say I don't really have any close friends, really. So I have like connection issues and um. Do I have fear of social? Not fear. I wouldn't say necessarily fear. It might be fear, but I have a um. I'm not a big social person. I don't have. I find it quite unpleasant. Yeah, unpleasant being with not with people, but being with lots of people and lots of talking and I'm like my face is like lots of like I just don't yeah, I don't enjoy socializing with lots of people. I prefer one on one um like one on one. I prefer I prefer people that maybe aren't so chatty or not people who can are okay with silence. I don't have to always talk. I like that kind of interaction where it's not a lot of forced talking all the time. We can like be together and do something like yeah, go bowling or just do an activity together. Um, I like interactions. I've been going to some autistic and ADHD things and being able to like ask questions and get clarity and just be yourself. Like be yourself. It's really refreshing and really lovely. Um, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I've not really. Um, I feel like that is that kind of the key as well. Is like being yourself. Like it sounds so like bizarre to say, but we often aren't ourselves. We're conditioned to like we're conditioned to be someone. We're conditioned to relate from the head, like relate from stories. Um, we're conditioned to not be comfortable in this moment. Um, so it can be quite stressful being in social situations. But I feel like the more you are okay with yourself, meaning the more you are okay with beingness, you're not trying to fit in, you're not trying to conform and please the other person. You're being as you are, um, then it kind of reduces that fear. A lot of the fear is around trying to fit in, trying to be a certain way. Um, yeah. Uh, But yeah, as I said, I don't really have close friends. I can't really talk about, like, it too deeply because I've not really had that experience. But I also feel like the only way to really connect with someone is through beingness, is through what we are, through this aliveness, through this shared being, rather than through these stories and these layers, surface layers of interaction. I mean, and how do you find people that are into that? You were like open to that. And I don't know. But at the same time, it just doesn't matter. It feels like it just doesn't matter because you can't get anything extra. You can't get anything extra than this, than being. You can't connect to another being. There is no other being. There is being, and it's right here. So this is primary, I would say. This is primary. This is all there is. If that makes sense at all. I don't know. Yeah. Just accept groundableness. All right. Lucky. I've not heard of that one. A film called Lucky. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, it's such a prison. It's such a prison. It's such a prison. This idea of being someone and trying to live as someone, trying to fit in, trying to connect with others, trying to. I mean, practically, yes, we're human beings. There is a need for others, there's a need to, and a want to have, bonds and things like that on that level. But there's such a huge belief that fulfillment will come through that. That is such a huge thing. It's such a huge thing. Like trying to relate to someone else, like it's such a, yeah, like yeah, like it's such a big thing in this experience, like feeling different, and like how do they do that? How do these people do that and not being able to understand how that works? It's such a huge illusion. Like there's nothing in it. chasing for it, chasing for that. Yeah, it's such a huge illusion. Why is there any transmission? Thank you, Dee. Hope that's answered something or touched something. Maybe not, but I don't know what you were exactly looking for. David, is there any transmission of this message? Is there any transmission of this message? Transmission. Like a radio signal or something. There's a receiving of it. That sounds very, transmission. I mean, in one way, people call it a resonance. Like this is like these words are spoken, describing and pointing to something that isn't happening. These words are spoken, and there's intellectual understanding of the words and the meaning of the words. But there's something else as well that's not in that. That the words are like have a level to them, and then they evaporate. And what's the words were describing is actually here. It's actually here. And so the words are appearing and disappearing. And this is here. This is here. And so there's a resonance with the word, but there's a resonance beyond the words. A resonance. This is resonating. This is awake. This is alive. So it isn't that someone transmitting it to you. It's just this is it. This is aliveness. When someone's speaking about it, it's being spoken about, but it's here. Like if you're listening to a football match or something, or I don't know, Neighbours or something, how way are they still running? I don't know, EastEnders or something. It'll be a different. It'll be talking about characters and stories and this drama and this. So it'll be different to hearing a non-duality talk, which is talking about this aliveness. Yeah. So the frequency is different. I don't know. It's just pointing to this, so it's alive, as opposed to a story in the head or a drama like you're following in the head. So, yeah. But it isn't personal at all. It isn't someone giving something to someone else. There isn't a teacher and a student. Why are some non-dualists claiming there is no volition? Because there isn't a separate someone. There isn't a separate someone that could have volition. There isn't a separate someone choosing to do or to say or to be. There isn't that. So that's the dream of someone, that they are someone and they are choosing and doing and thinking and being and all of these things, as if it's a separate independent entity that has that free will and volition. It's autonomous. It's a separate object. It's something. And so this is talking about that whole experience, that whole story, that whole sense of being something, being someone isn't isn't actually a someone. There's nothing behind that. It's totally empty of someone. What's looking now isn't a someone. You can project an image. Oh, Kelly's like this, she's that, she's this. But that isn't what's looking right now. That isn't what's listening right now. Whoever you think you are, that isn't what's listening. That's a dream happening of someone, an image of someone, a projection of someone. It's not actually a reality. So there is no volition. There isn't a separate someone that is doing and choosing. And that's why it's spoken about. Wilhelmus. We have to ask Trump to be extrovert again. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know what that means. I have no word that can improve this silence. Thank you. Mm. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Thank you so much for joining and for all your questions. Lots of love. Bye.